homer, led the league in tackles with 85. The deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, dancing all around. Throw it as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver, you're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
All right, today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. D. Darren Primes, most recently with the Arizona Rattlers of the IFL. Mr. Primes, how you doing this afternoon? I'm sorry, how you doing this afternoon, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I can't complain at all. I'm super excited to finally be joined by you. I know this is something we've been kind of talking about for a while. You're always tuning into my Big City interviews, so it's awesome that we finally get you on this side of the camera.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, let's go ahead and jump into this. I mean, you were a 3-sport athlete in high school, which I thought was kind of interesting. Did you have any inkling of potentially pursuing a different sport, maybe basketball or running track for a living after that?
No. Not to be honest. I just liked it to play basketball. It's like my cardio. Track, I ain't gonna lie. I did track just because all the girls was there in high school. That's what I did track. But it got me faster, so I kept doing it.
That's fair. That's fair. I could definitely see that in your game for sure. So obviously football was the priority even back then.
Yeah. Well, growing up, my brother and them thought I would play basketball because I was pretty good at it. But I think my passion was football more. I was just good at basketball.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Kind of a natural athlete type deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, what position or positions did you play in high school?
I started off playing running back and linebacker. But then my sophomore year, I broke my ankle playing running back, and it like shook me up, so I never played it again.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I got to ask real quick, is that something you would consider playing at the professional level?
Yes. I would play running back again. I tried to get back into playing running back, but all my coaches like, nah, just stay at linebacker. I wish I'd have played in high school. I wish I'd have played safety more than linebacker, but
That's actually kind of why I asked. I'm not going to lie. I noticed when you first went into college, you had kind of a growth spurt there in college. It seemed like you were a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller weight-wise when you first got there. So I was kind of wondering if you played some defensive back in high school.
I wish I would have.
But
in high school, I looked at big in high school, so it's like linebacker fit me. I looked at big.
That makes sense.
My 190 looked like I was like 210, 220.
Gotcha. Definitely makes sense. So you ended up starting your college career with Kilgore. What was your time at Kilgore like?
I actually just did a spring season at Kilgore. I did a spring season and then I left because my cousin was at Panhandle. And then I ended up going to Oklahoma Panhandle the next year.
Gotcha.
So I just did the spring.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just did the spring in Kilgore. So I went there for the semester, but I didn't play on the team. So after high school, I didn't have offers, so I didn't want to play no more. So I just went to college. Gotcha. Then in the spring, I joined Kilgore Spring in the spring.
Makes sense. So you end up at Oklahoma Panhandle University. Your defensive coordinator and linebacker coach was Eric Daniels, correct?
Yes, Eric Daniels.
So tell me a little bit about your relationship with Coach Daniels and kind of what he taught you and how he kind of helped you get to the point where you're at today.
Actually, he was a great coach. He's probably one of the best coaches I had. He did mold me into a better player. but my other coach really like put me on top. His name was Coach Gibbs. We called him Coach Gibbs. That was his name, Marcus Gibbs.
Gotcha. When did he come along, or was that the?
He was there the same year, but
Okay,
he took over the next year. He took over the defensive coordinator job,
gotcha. Okay, very nice.
and he made me become who I am today.
Very nice.
He
Very
he
nice.
he taught me to play the game, to make plays instead of just playing like the system. Because you have a system. He said, don't let the system be the reason why you're making plays. Go actually make the play. You know.
I
So like
like that.
he molded me into a different player.
Kind of similar to what we always hear about Wade Phillips, how he kind of just lets his players trust their instincts and kind of play.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
yeah, he also made me the reason why I think I should have played DB also, because he was a defensive back coach. So yeah, so he used to put me on the slots, make me go hold the slots man to man.
It's not too late. It's not too late. You still got plenty of career left.
Yeah, I think I do. Still got
Um,
something in me.
so I'm curious, what was your major in college? That was one thing I didn't look up.
Criminal justice.
Really? Okay. Is that something you plan to pursue after your playing career's up?
No.
No?
To be honest, I just did it to get me through college.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you were
Some simple
primarily
and
there for
easy.
football?
Yeah. But I like, let me put it like this. I like the law enforcement stuff. Like I love the shows. Like that what got me just to get a criminal justice degree.
That's fair. That's fair. Definitely kind of, one of those kids figuring out what you wanted to do with your life, so to speak.
Yeah.
So after college, you end up getting involved with the Spring League. How did that opportunity come about for you?
Um so the dude Brian Wood, like he sent me out like a little invitations to come out to like a little tryout for the spring league, and I ended up getting it. I got into the spring league because Mike Singletary, like he picked me.
Well, that's definitely something to hang your hat on. I mean, Hall of Fame
Yeah.
NFL linebacker, one of the greatest of all times. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a member of that '85 Bears unit that was just legendary. So
Yeah.
just, I mean, if you're going to get picked as a linebacker, no less, there's not many better coaches that you want to be
Picked
handpicked
by.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And so
go ahead.
like most coaches, like when you into one of them leagues to trying to get to the higher level, they go off like names and things, but he wasn't. He was like, if you can play, you can play.
That's how it should be. I mean,
And
it's
that's
a
and,
developmental league.
and he just let me play. And this was the championship game. If you see watching, that's the championship game. He just put me in and let me play.
That's amazing. So speaking of the championship game, you guys end up going on to win the championship game in your first season with the TSL. What was that opportunity? I mean, not that opportunity, that experience like for you?
It was really a great experience, and I ain't never won a championship from high school to college. That was like the first time I ever won like a championship in my life.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, obviously, being that the Spring League is kind of a developmental league, what kind of interest did you get after this first season in which you guys won a championship?
Actually, they just called me back and put me back on the team the next year.
Very nice. So in 2021, were you back under Singletary again?
No, he wasn't there.
Gotcha. Who was your coach at that point?
His name Jeff. He's a CFL coach. I don't know his first name.
Gotcha. I would have to look it up. I didn't follow the Spring League that highly at that point, to be completely
Yeah.
fair. But ultimately, the Spring League ends up turning into the USFL. Were you a part of that initial 2022 USFL draft class?
Yes. Well, so what happened was the coaches from the spring league, they end up getting the team in Philly, the Philly Stars. And the D line coach tried to draft me, but I couldn't get a contract. I don't know. It was some dude, like the head scout dude. You
Gotcha.
know, it was a lot of weird stuff going on. So I didn't get a
Gotcha.
contract.
Interesting. So right around that time is when you ended up in the indoor football league ultimately, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you ultimately transitioned to indoor football, how many weeks did it ultimately take you to feel comfortable with the speed of the game and how it is, a little bit different than the outdoor game?
I actually just got right into it because I don't know. I just play football, so I got right into it. The only thing I didn't know is like the MAC position. Like D line was easy. It's just one on one pass rush, boom, boom, boom. But I didn't know like at the MAC position you had to stay still. So it took me like a week to get to know like you have to stay still. You can't move at all. I was lining up to like go. They was like you have running back, and he was out, and I went out, and they was like, "What are you doing?" I had to stay in the middle instead of going to line up on the running back. So that's the only issue I had when I first got to indoor.
Gotcha. But other than that, it's just playing football in a different arena.
Yeah, it's just playing football in a different arena.
I
Steady
think
11 mans is 8, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for everybody tuning in right now. Wherever you're watching, make sure to hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Anyway, you were originally with Spokane, the Spokane Shock, correct?
And I guess they season like folded. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, situation with the ownership, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Ultimately, they did not play the 2022 season, and you ended up being able to move on to Duke City under Coach Fred Griggs, correct?
yes, sir.
What was your experience and time like under Griggs, who is kind of a noted defensive mind at the IFL level?
It was pretty good. So what happened was the way I ended up even getting on the team was my brother Roger Chapman. He kept telling me, bro, just come play, because I knew nothing about indoor. That's the only reason why I signed in Spokane because I had a guy was telling me like just go to indoor, and I didn't know what it was.
That's
So
fair.
so I ended up just when I got there, Fred Griggs, he was a good coach. Very very like strict though. He's strict on the field. He's very strict. Like stick to the script.
I
He's
could
about a
definitely see
script.
that.
Yeah. So
What did Coach Griggs teach you about the game in particular, and something you can carry with you back outdoors when you get the opportunity again?
he taught he basically just taught me the indoor game like that. Most people don't know indoor. It's a lot of difference than outdoor. He just taught me the indoor game.
Absolutely. Like you just spoke about the mic backer has to stay in the box before the snap, can't move
hmm
until after the snap, which is kind of interesting. You see a lot of movement in the outdoor game before the snap at all points and kind of from every player realistically. So uh, quite a bit different when it comes to that. 2 seasons with Duke City, more or less, or parts of 2 seasons with Duke City. You end up racking 7 sacks, a couple game-changing plays. I believe there was a touchdown return in there last season, if I'm not mistaken.
hmm
And you end up kind of developing a reputation as a playmaker, but you end up having to move on from Duke City. Do you care to enlighten us on what kind of happened in that situation and why you end up moving on?
Um, out. So the second season, like I told, like the contract issues and all that, and I was just like, I don't care about all that. I just want to play. You know what I'm saying? Because the first season I got there, I didn't really play as much as I should have. You know, but
Mm-hmm.
I waited. I just waited. But then I told him the next year when I signed, I was like, listen, I don't care about the money and none of that. I just want to play. So when we got to the season, I mean, obviously I thought I was gonna play, but I wasn't even playing that much still. And I feel like I was better than the starters from the jump. And then I ended up breaking my hand. So when that happened, uh, basically I still wasn't playing that much, even though I broke my hand. But I told him like if I'm not gonna play, just don't dress me. You know what I'm saying? And I was still getting dressed and I wasn't playing, even though I had my hand wrapped up and all that.
Yeah, that's,
So it
that's
was just
fair.
like I left because like there wasn't no trust.
Okay,
I just
definitely
moved
fair.
on. Like I'm not one of the players who's trying to go to a team for money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I just want to play football. You know what I'm saying?
that's fair. I mean, let's back up just a step. But correct me if I'm wrong. The spring league you paid to play in. Remember, or if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. Sorry about that.
Oh, I didn't.
No. Oh,
No,
interesting.
you
It,
had some people had to pay. If you didn't
uh,
make the team, like you had to pay. It wasn't even you didn't pay to play. You played for the tryout.
gotcha. Okay.
So what happened in the spring league was they basically lied to us and was like, we're gonna give you a game, we're gonna give you game film, all this for 8 weeks,
Gotcha.
but it was a tryout for 3 days.
So,
So
all right.
so you had to pay $800 for a trial for 3 days, which it was supposed to be 8 weeks with game film.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was different. But I ended up getting picked, so it didn't even matter. I got my money back, so I didn't really pay. 'Cause I got my
Gotcha.
money
Okay.
back.
Interesting. Interesting. So anyway, you move on from Duke City. You end up with the Arizona Rattlers.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
I went to Vegas right after that. I played one game with Vegas.
That's right. I apologize. Totally had forgotten about that. What was your time like in Vegas under Coach Mike Davis?
Vegas was I love Vegas. That's all. It was just like they had everything like that Duke City didn't have. But with Duke City, we had like a brotherhood. That's like anywhere else I went, it wasn't like that. So that's I would take being with Duke City like the brotherhood than to go anywhere. Because we was like all together. We wasn't as one. Which when I went to Vegas, it wasn't really like brotherhood. Everybody was to themselves. We only seen each other at practice. You know,
Definitely. Okay, that
but
makes sense.
they had everything. They had what I'm saying, they had good food spots. They had good treatment. Like I mean, they had everything.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, it makes sense as far as the treatment for the players. They are owned by a very prominent NHL owner, if I'm not mistaken. So he definitely takes care of his team from everything I've heard.
Yeah, they got all the machines you need. They got a lot of training staffs. Like it's crazy.
Definitely. So anyway, you end up in Arizona after that with Coach Kevin Guy. What was your time like in Arizona?
Um, it was very. My time in Arizona was chill. I didn't really play a game with Arizona. I practiced, but it was like some things like that happened with when I traded over
Gotcha.
from Vegas to Arizona. So it was
Gotcha.
like I think Duke City like called and was like, "Hey y'all," because we were supposed to play Duke City that game, the game I came, and then they were just like, "Y'all, I guess I couldn't practice until I signed the contract or whatever." It was
Hmm.
something happened like that, and so I didn't even play. So I just
Gotcha.
practiced with Arizona. I never played,
Gotcha.
so I really don't know like what happened with that situation. I just knew I couldn't practice, which it was weird. I don't know, just weird.
That is odd. That's very odd. So ultimately, you end up in this season, this off season. You're a free agent as of right now. Much to my shock, your phone is not blowing up. Shockingly enough. So with that in mind, I mean, is there any league that you would say no to at this point? I mean, in terms of like the AIF, the NAL, the AFL, IFL.
Um, Not really. Um, I don't really know them other leagues. You know, I didn't even know what the AFL was until somebody told me. I didn't
That's
even know what
fair.
the IFL was until I joined it. So I'm open. I just play football, man. I don't care about nothing else. Like I ain't going through high school, college. I never had a backup plan. It was just straight football for me. It was straight football. Maybe if I would have stayed playing basketball, I probably would have, played basketball or something. But I chose to just put one focus on football, and it's been football ever since. Well,
That
now
makes
I
sense.
stream, that's about it. I be chilling on the game, streaming.
Speaking of which, let's talk about that real quick. So, for anybody who's into watching Twitch, you can follow Darren Primes here on Twitch. So, what games do you play on Twitch, there, buddy?
I play Call of Duty, Warzone, multiplayer. I play Madden. I play 2K. Sometimes I play Gears of War. I go back to the old Xbox games. I play on Xbox. So,
Gotcha. Very nice.
that's what I do.
PlayStation's better, but that's okay. I'll forgive you.
Man. What PlayStation is, I don't know. I had PlayStation growing up too, So I just like Xbox. I don't know why. It's not a difference. I don't think it's a difference. Besides, I just play the.
Yeah, there's not a difference at all. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I think most of my friends was playing Xbox, so I got an Xbox.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm pretty sure I was vice versa. Most of my friends had PlayStation, so we always stuck with PlayStation for that reason. So it's kind of funny how that all works. But yeah, definitely basically same games for the most part. I think the 2K5 series was the only one that was strictly on Xbox, right?
The who?
The 2K5 series, the ESPN games.
No, they saw crossplay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you ask me, PC is better than everything now that I know about a PC. I knew nothing about a PC, but PC got it. I'd rather just have a PC than an Xbox and a PlayStation. If you ask me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm about to get. I'm about to get a PC.
I might have to check that out myself. Well, I really appreciate your time here today, man. I mean, it's been a long time coming for us to ultimately have this chat. Definitely excited to see where you end up in 2024. I know it's, only a matter of time before teams come calling, and hopefully many of them see this today and realize that you are out there and available currently. So they should definitely be giving you a call. But anyway, what's your aspirations for after your football career is over?
To be honest, just to live life. Life's short. I just want to enjoy while I'm here.
I love that. That's a great sentiment for sure. Life is too short to constantly focus on not being happy. So it definitely makes sense to go ahead and to focus on living life. I like that. Any final thoughts? Anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Just shout out to everybody who's been by my side through it all. And who molded me to come into where I am now.
Absolutely. And for any teams that might be interested, you're signed to Wilkes, correct?
Yes, my agent.
Absolutely. And it's Wilkes. Remind me the full name.
Dwayne Wilkes.
Awesome. Okay, Dwayne Wilkes. So contact Dwayne Wilkes to get a hold of Mr. Primes here if you would like to add him to your team. Great pass rusher, great linebacker, can play the middle, outside, indoor, outdoor, really whatever. If you need a pass rusher, this is your guy. So go ahead and give him a call, and hopefully we can get him signed up on a championship roster and get him another ring.
Thanks. That's needed.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we really appreciate your time watching. Really appreciate your time, Mr. Primes. Super excited that we finally got this out of the way. Definitely won't be the last one, I hope. So big things to come for the rest of your career, I only imagine. And with all that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.